You're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, is that not the truth of what? Today's Wednesday, May the 26th of 2021, day 146th of the year, and only 219 days remaining before it's all over with. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse of Safety FM. And then we're also hanging out with our friends at that other place, that other place.
With streams so crisp that you can feel the sarcasm in our ear holes. Radio Big.
Okay, so there you go. That's what's going on as we are broadcasting across. Hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods, depending on whatever the hell you have going on. So as we start off early in the morning, we start off talking about all the stuff that has been happening in the overnight. We talk about that. We talk about broadcasting. We talk about news. We talk about safety. We talk about podcasting. We poke at people, all that kind of fun stuff. All the stuff that you would want to do first thing as you are starting off any kind of show, because that's what we do around here. Anyway, so let's talk about what was trending via hashtag over last night. Matter of fact, that's a lie. I'm going to tell you what's actually going on exactly inside of the world of fiction and nonfiction, according to the bestsellers. Before I get into that, by the way, what's your plan for Monday? Are you celebrating Memorial Day? Do you have to go into work if you're in the United States of America? I'm just asking the question. Or are you planning to barbecue? You know what I'm saying. Do a little barbecue action. So anyways, before that, let's get into this. So let's talk about the fiction and nonfiction category inside of the world of books. Taking it from the very top, here we go. At the number 5 in the fiction category is People We Meet on Vacation. At number 4, that summer, I'm learning how to read. Number 3, The Last Thing He Told Me. At number 2, Sully. At number 1, While Justice Sleeps. That's all in the fiction category. Let's go into the nonfiction category. What Happened to You? At number 5. The Premonition at number 4. At number 3, Billie Eilish. Hold on. Isn't that like I thought that was a picture book. Okay. At number 2, Yearbook. And by the way, the number 3 Billie Eilish book is called Billie Eilish. Not that it's written by Billie Eilish, but even though it was written by Billie Eilish, just in case. And at the number 1 spot, Killing the Mob. There you go. That's Bill O'Reilly and Martin DeGard. So there you go. Some interesting stuff going on inside of there. So I don't know. Is that your gig? Is that your thing now? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I don't know. I'm asking the question because I'm trying to understand better. What exactly do you like in the book category? Actually, the fun part was last week I was sitting around talking to someone that they're contemplating writing a book. I was like, you shouldn't hold off. Let's get to it. Get some book info out there. Definitely some interesting things as they are talking and contemplating about writing El Buco. As they do move forward and go on and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, let's get you rolling and bowling into some feature story news because that's important, whatever the hell they have to say. So let's get that started right away.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Haya. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has defended his actions in diverting a passenger plane into Minsk, where government critic Roman Protasevich was arrested. Belarus had claimed there was a bomb threat on board. Julia Chapman has the latest.
After days of mounting criticism, Alexander Lukashenko broke his silence on Sunday's incident. He insisted that he followed international rules when he made the decision to divert the Ryanair plane. He rejected accusations that the fighter jet he sent to accompany it was intended as a threat. The Belarusian president says the alleged bomb threat originated from Switzerland using a Polish IP address. President Lukashenko denounced Western criticism, saying ill-wishers from outside Belarus had crossed many red lines.
The fallout over Belarus's decision to force down the Ryanair flight using a military jet continues, with European leaders probing whether Russia may have been involved. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says she will bring up the matter next time she talks with President Putin. Trent Murray reports from Berlin.
Angela Merkel told reporters that she and other EU leaders had discussed the possibility that Russian President Vladimir Putin may have had some involvement in the forced grounding of the Ryanair flight in Belarus on Sunday. Merkel said leaders had, quote, touched on the question of whether Russia had anything to do with it, but were yet to make any firm findings on Russia's role. Germany has strongly condemned Belarus's decision to use a military jet to force a commercial airliner to land so it could arrest a journalist on board. German flag carrier Lufthansa has stopped flying to Belarus altogether, and overnight the German Cycling Federation said it would no longer be sending a team to next month's European Championships due to be held in the Belarusian capital of Minsk.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's former aide is facing questions from MPs about mistakes made during the coronavirus pandemic. Dominic Cummings argues Mr Johnson was late to lock down the country on more than one occasion, costing thousands of lives, and the government failed when the public needed it most.
The truth is that senior ministers, senior officials, senior advisers like me fell disastrously short of the standards that the public has a right to expect of its government in a crisis like this.
Cabinet Minister Grant Shapps says Mr Cummings' allegations are a sideshow.
It's a bit of a circus from someone who was there at the time and had the facility and ability to influence a lot of these decisions, of course, and you can see that the right decisions were being made at the right time as it happens.
The Indian states of West Bengal and Odisha have evacuated hundreds of thousands of people ahead of Cyclone Yas. The army has also been deployed. And prosecutors in New York have convened a grand jury to decide whether there is sufficient evidence to prosecute former President Donald Trump or members of his inner circle. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, wrapping up our inside look at life in the Gaza Strip. For the last couple of days, we've heard from Matt Fry, the foreign affairs reporter for Britain's Channel 4 News, who crossed into Gaza last weekend. He's there, unlike US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, whose trip to the Middle East did not include meetings with officials from Hamas because the US deems them terrorists.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Support for Safety FM is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and the detail on the 4.0 are next level. You know, more times of actually handling blades and becoming a bloody mess, if you know what I'm saying there. Manscaped engineered the ultimate growing and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for some precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim throughout additional guards, lengths with sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention that it's wireless charging? Yeah, not a joke here. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SAFETY. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of going on inside of the world, and as always, we cut out early, so that's just kind of the way that it happens. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on according to the hit list. Let's take it from the very top as this 13 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out. The CDC is advising Americans against traveling to Japan ahead of the Olympics due to a surge in COVID-19 cases. If traveling to Japan is avoidable, travelers should get inoculated, wear masks, and practice social distancing. And the warning has been stated. Meanwhile, the State Department issued a level 4 do not travel advisory to the highest cautionary level, and an outright travel ban is not in effect. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking this morning. Anyways, a little bit more information. A swarm of cicadas descended on New Jersey's town that was the site of the Martian landing in the sci-fi flick War of the Worlds. The insects known as periodical cicadas crawled one of the soil of the Van Ness Park in Groves Mill, where they have been hanging out for about 17 years. After emerging bugs that only live about a month, but females leave behind hundreds of eggs, creating the next insect invasion. So there you go. The invasion has started. The invasion has started. I guess we should probably get to some serious stuff here in a second. As of Tuesday, over 287.7 million COVID vaccines have been administered nationwide. Over 131 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, while more than 164.3 million have received at least one dose. According to the CDC, the White House reported that yesterday half of Americans are now fully vaccinated. So there you go. So I don't know. It keeps on being kind of an interesting convo as we continue to talk about this, because yesterday we were talking about the glorious state of Ohio doing some stuff where they were changing some things up, where they were turning around and saying, hey, if you're interested in being vaccinated, you can be so by doing it, but you'll also enter into a lotto. where you could win $1 million. I guess that's kind of have some influence on what people want to do. I'm just saying that out loud. Because what do you think there? I mean, if you had a chance to win $1 million, I think you'll go ahead and jump onto it. I'm just saying that out loud for something to think about. But then again, I could just be losing my mind.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, half of a senior class at the Texas high school has been suspended over a class prank. Over half, yeah, you heard me right there. Around 40 seniors, hold on, 40? That's it? 40 seniors at Comfort High School received 2-week suspension for senior prank, which they placed plastic forks on the football field. At a select few also entered the school after hours, leaving balloons and saran wrap, that was administered. The administration took issue with. Parents defending their seniors, calling the prank harmless and saying that there is no damage, no destruction, no graffiti, no defacing of property, no police reports. Hope J, yes, Hope J, who are two seniors in the class, called punishment outrageous, saying that the prank was an innocent administrator should be more understanding, especially after the past year. Meanwhile, local liquor store placed a sign outside congratulating the senior, and it reads, "We're so forking proud." So that's what it says. But think about it. You do have some level of entry inside of going into the the school after hours. So there's a little B&E action going on there, breaking an entry. So let's think about that for a moment. So there you go, something to think about. Anyways, good morning. What's your view on the next ASSP National Conference in September? It's in person and virtual. Do you think it will be well attended in person? Well, they have actually put themselves in one of the best places possible to do it in person, which is Austin, Texas. But I think that it becomes a very interesting conversation. Let's be realistic. We're going to talk about it this year. They did their pricing right this time around. Let's be real. We talked about this last week. This question is coming in by Richard Nichols, by the way. So I think they priced it right. I think that the in-person side, they have put themselves in one of the best places possible, being Austin and Texas being open for quite some time, where I think that there might be some struggle here. Just from the initial onset, is the people that bought tickets to go to Colorado. How is that going to work? Because if you placed a flight to go to Colorado and then all of a sudden it got switched from June to September, how well is that going to work? And I think, and this is, of course, future crystal balls kind of stuff, thinking about it as we are talking here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few months, because that's going to determine a lot of how many people will show up. Will they be as packed as the years previous, as when it was open full bore? I don't think so. I don't think that that's going to be the case. There will be more attendance probably than what you probably would normally consider, but I don't think it's going to be a packed out event. I hope I'm extremely wrong, because here's the thing, and I'll tell you this, and a lot of people don't believe me when I say that, and it's okay. I have this love-hate relationship with the American Society of Safety Professionals, and I'll explain what I mean here. I think that they priced that thing wrong last year, and I made that abundantly clear. But also, I think that they do good for the overall community, for people that are learning about safety. Let's just be realistic. There's some money situations and what they charge and all that stuff that I don't agree with 100%, but hey, that's their gig, not mine. People can go out there and buy, but I also don't see some of the things that they offer as it being the creme de la creme, when you start thinking that there's 350 designations that are out there for safety professionals. But hey, that's my opinion to have, of course. They have their own opinion. They think that they're doing great on whatever they're doing. That's their gig. That's fine with them. But I think you'll see a lot more people there, but just not as packed as the previous years. I hope they have a lot of success with what they're going on, because here's the thing. They also bring a lot of attention to that particular community on when they're going around talking about what's going on inside of the world of safety. And anybody who would sit there and say otherwise is just straight up lying to you. But I think that a lot of the membership and the continuing education stuff to be able to keep your existing credentials kind of makes it interesting. But I'm sure that that's a whole conversation for another day. Anyways, let's continue talking a little bit more about some other things. Lori Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, have been indicted on murder charges in connection with the deaths of their two children. They both face 2 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and grand theft by deception of the death of Tyler Ryan, 17, and Joshua J.J. Value, 7. They were faced conspiracy to commit first-degree charges of death on Tammy Daybell and Chad's former wife. Vallow and Daybell face anywhere from life in prison to the death penalty. JJ and Tylee's bodies were found buried by Daybell in the backyard in June of 2020. They had been missing since September of 2019. So there you go, some stuff to think about for sure. So what do you think about it, Mr. Nichols? What do you think about the whole thing? Do you think that it's going to be packed out? And then, of course, the more important question there, will you be attending the ASSP event that will be occurring in 2021? It'll be interesting to see the amount of people that go out there. I mean, I'll tell you, it's kind of the last time that I went in San Antonio. That was the last time that I went out there. It was good. I mean, it's a good time. Let's not lie. Let's not lie about it, because it is a good time for those who do attend. It'll be interesting to see how the transition works for the hybrid event, because especially last year in particular, when they started to do the pre-record the event and then just have somebody inside of there and do the question and answers, I thought that was kind of weird, because now you're essentially paying to watch a pre-record to be able to answer questions. And I understand that there's the concern that it's not going to work in real life, but this is the risk that you take. You have to do it live. Because if not, it does not feel authentic as you're doing it, because you can't customize the conversation. So like right now, I'm in the middle of the news. You're dropping questions about what's going on here. What's my thought process? I wouldn't be able to answer that if it's a pre-record, because then I would just be going straight through the news. But anyways, let's continue. Moderna says their COVID-19 vaccine is now highly effective for kids 12 to 17 in a trial. There are more than 3,700 kids. None of those none of them who received the 2 doses of the vaccine came down with COVID symptoms, while 4 teens in the placebo group caught the bug. The CEO, Stefan Bancel, said that the company will submit their results to the FDA in early June. I guess that's in a few days. And asked the vaccination to be approved. The promising study comes after Pfizer's vaccine was approved for kids 12 to 15 earlier this month. So there you go. So let's take a listen here. Mr. Nichols here. I'll be at the VPPA, ASSP, and NSC events. Very interesting to see what the attendees is. Of course, the ASSP is a hybrid, so I wonder if it discourages attendance in person. So there you go. The VPPA, I remember they were supposed to be here. We were here in the Florida area last year. We were supposed to be doing some stuff together. You know that them coming up is going to Tennessee, and the National Safety Council one. Don't they normally? I am trying to remember. Don't they normally do their stuff in California? So I'm assuming that this year will probably be different. I had heard rumblings that it was going to be occurring in. Isn't it occurring in Florida? But I don't know. Somebody could tell me, because I never know what the hell is going on. I can't keep up with all those conventions and all those conferences and all that stuff. I would love to, but I just lose my mind.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a team from Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis believes that they're having a mild case of COVID-19 may serve as a lifetime of protection from the virus. Yes, I did say white, just in case. White initials report that claims antibodies fade quickly. Researchers found that although the number of antibodies to drop in the patient as they recover, they never totally go away. After looking at the blood and the marrow samples of 77 people who recovered from mild cases of COVID-19, the team found that the antibodies drop off quickly after clearing the virus, but did not disappear entirely. Instead, they appeared to level off and were detectable nearly a year later. Researchers concluded that there is no reason to think that the cells will ever leave the human body. The team is now looking to whether people have the vaccination against COVID will also have the same long-lasting immunity. So there you go. Some good times to think about when it comes to that, for sure. Anyways, let's continue talking. Shots were fired on Tuesday near George Floyd Square. Yes, you did hear me correctly there. The intersection where Floyd died last year during a memorial event of the anniversary of his death. One person was injured in the shooting, but is expected to be okay. Authorities said that the shooter drove away and the remains on the loose. So here you go. Meanwhile, Floyd's family was at the White House yesterday where they chatted with President Joe Biden and crew. Floyd's brother pressured lawmakers to pass police reform, saying if there are federal laws on the books to protect bald eagles, there should be laws on the book to protect minorities. So there you go. That's something that did come about yesterday during the conversation with the president.
You are listening to a Radio God. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a Radio God. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so here you go. Hygiene and beauty products are flying off the shelves as states lift restrictions and masks are being removed. Deodorants and teeth whiteners and condoms are some of the many items of high demand as Americans prepped to be in close proximity with other humans. The stock up doesn't appear to be intense as last year's rush on toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So there you go. People getting those teeth whitened, people getting some deodorant, thank God, and of course getting the condoms because they are getting their groove and move on. I mean, we talked about this. We talked about that during the people standing in line to get the COVID vaccine when everybody was trying to ramp up and get them, that people were dressing up as if they were going out on a date because I guess they were trying to get, try to set expectations on what they wanted to do next. Hey, whatever it takes to get your groove on.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves only on Safety FM.
I guess Manscaped started promoting at the right time. Let's think about it in that fashion. Anyways, let's talk about the Market Beat Minute. Let's get into our friend John Smalls. Let him talk about what's going on.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, May 26th, 2021. Monday's bull market came to a crashing halt on Tuesday. The major indexes tried to make further gains, but failed in the face of weaker than expected economic data. On the consumer front, consumer confidence remains high, but at 117 fell nearly a full point from the previous month versus the expected gain. On the housing front, not only were new home sales much weaker than expected, the previous month's data was revised lower as well. The reason is rapidly rising home prices that are fueled by not only high demand, but also by rising lumber prices as well. The Case-Shiller Housing Price Index gained more than 13% in April, making the fastest pace of home price growth in about 15 years. If the remainder of this week's data is also disappointing, the market could continue to drift sideways within its near-term range. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, so there you go. That's what Johnny Smalls brings in and tells us what's going on. Let's go a little bit further here and talk about some other stuff that we got. Tuesday saw the market will fall back into Dow dipped about 81 points. The NASDAQ lost about 4 points, and the S&P dropped about 8 points. The Conference Board of Consumer Confidence Index fell to lower than expected reading for the recent period. Inflation feels still a guide to consumers' buying habits. So there you go. Some other additional stuff to talk about as we are bringing this up now. And I think that we should probably get to our main story as it is 28 minutes past the top of the hour.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the news. We're constantly talking about all these things and all that kind of fun stuff because it's very, 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 very important. I mean, you know this. That's why we go through all this stuff that we talk about, because if it wasn't important, we wouldn't be talking about it. I mean, don't you think? So there you go. A lot of stuff right away off the bat. So have you been watching lately a lot of the things that are going on inside of the world when it comes to the world related to things going on with OSHA? Have you been taking a look at that? Do you normally take a look around and go, hey, this is stuff that might be important for what's going on inside of my org or not? I'm just asking the question. Because here's the gig. Here's the thing. There has been some some info that has circulated as of recent, and I would like to share this with you. And let's talk about the new OSHA FAQ on vaccine recordability, because I think that this is important. Because you know that we talk about all kinds of stuff inside of this world, but we need to talk about this because I think it's going to be important if you are actually inside of a facility or if you kind of go around and about and talk about all these things related to OSHA. Where's Primus, by the way? We need Primus in here for this. But let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about this portion. Are adverse reactions to COVID-19 vaccine recordable on the OSHA record-keeping log? Let me give you the answer that came about from the Department of Labor and OSHA. So this way we can know exactly what these are now. As well as other federal agencies are working diligently to encourage COVID-19 vaccination, OSHA does not wish to have any appearance of discouraging workers in receiving COVID-19 vaccinations and also not to wish a disincentivize employers' vaccination effort. As a result, OSHA will not enforce 29 CFR 1904 recording requirements to require any employers to record worker side effects from COVID-19 vaccination through May of 2022. Yes, you did hear me correctly there. May of 2022. We will reevaluate the agency's position at the time to determine the best course of action moving forward. Do I need to go through that again? I just want to make sure. So you did hear that. So they will not enforce 29 CFR 1904s. Now, if you love the number stuff, you can look it up. But isn't that interesting that now there has been a slight change? Now, this is coming from Shelton James. Too late now. Directly from OSHA. This is a reply back in regards of some questions that were being asked, and this is what he came up with. So there you go. This was answered as of Monday at 11:58 in the morning, and that's Monday the 24th. So what do you think about this? That there are not requiring this particular information? What comes to mind as we talk about this? Do you think that this will put the right precedents in place when it actually starts coming about or talking about this? Or do you look at this and go, not the right thing to do? I'm just asking the question because somebody's going to have to ask it. And do you think that this is right to be on hold until May of 2022? I mean, you can say yes or no. It's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It is a conversation going forward. But it does put some different ideas out there on how this will be looked at. That's for sure. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you during the main story today. Because it is definitely a change. I would have loved to have seen Primus. I probably should have forewarned him that I was going to be talking about this. But to be honest with you, I never know what the hell I'm going to talk about. Because that's what it is. This is the show that we just kind of go back and forth and do whatever. Anyway, so there you go. That's the newest information. Hopefully, everything will go correctly going forward. But then again, I'm just sharing this information with you because I don't know anything. I'm just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
So for years, I have been telling you how I sleep so miserably at night, but that has all changed as of recent, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a sleep quiz that takes just about 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why should you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you will know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody is unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have a soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even at Helix Plus mattresses for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz, and I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt soft, and I sleep on my side. It was such a different approach and exactly on how I was able to sleep. I love it. It's a huge upgrade from what I had before, that's for sure. The kids love it, even though they shouldn't be jumping on my bed, but that's a whole other story. And my wife loves it, which is important. So if you're looking for a mattress, you just take the quiz. You order the mattress, and you're matched to it. And the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store again. Helix is awesome, but you don't need my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. There, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you up with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try the mattress for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. Don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make. It's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let.
Okay, there you go. There's some King Sis. With Yeah You, Thinking About You. This could be available on iTunes and Spotify, just in case. Good question. Does anyone still care about the ASSP? Yes, apparently, if there's still questions coming about. So yes, thank you for the question. And when did OSHA rule go into place? Good question. I don't know. That was an answer that came about from the DOL. So I would imagine they've been probably looking at it for quite some time. Okay, so there you go. Download this one. Thanks for King Sis for allowing us to play it. Okay, so let's talk about some dishing on dishes. Yeah, not a joke here, as we are talking First thing in the morning here, 39 minutes past the top of the hour. And I say morning because we are in the morning time zone where I'm currently located. So there you go. Dishes on dishes. Yeah, dishing on dishes. It is easy these days to scroll through your social media foods and see a lot of delicious looking meals ideas. Some of the most popular food posts are recipes promoting healthier food option, but it makes you wonder, do people who post like share healthier eating posts actually cook these meals? Not very often, according to researchers from George Mason University. They analyzed the accounts of the posts of hundreds of Pinterest user influencers and discovered that while users post like healthy dishes featuring fish, chicken, vegetables, those same users more and more likely to comment on the actual prepared recipes that are high in sugar, calories, and fat. This suggests that the users are, of course, much more likely to eat fattier foods. The researchers say that they hold a major implication for anyone trying to promote healthier habits on social media, including those conducting health awareness campaigns. When it comes to food, the most important thing is that you share it, because that's, of course, very important. How do you feel? How do you know that they like it when they never try it? That's another thing to think about when you start seeing these food posts. And when I'm cooking, if my family's still alive the next days, well, we definitely know that it's something healthy.
Duh.
That's something to think about. Every dog has its pay. Let's talk about this because this is going to be an interesting one. In response to the fact that they have found themselves at home and more spare time during the pandemic, many people have decided to adopt a pet, which is great, but the kind of financial investment are taking on when you add a furry person to your family. Yeah. The essential cost of ownership ranges between $840 and $2,385 per year for a dog and about $600 to $1,800 for a cat, according to Rover.com, a global network of pet sitters and dog walkers. This includes food, vaccination, basic veterinarian care, gear, toys, treats, spay, neuter surgery, adoption fees from $200 to $500, which may include spay or neuter, and purchasing a pet from a breeder can cost you thousands, which we would definitely not recommend around here. And to that, if you want a pet insurance, grooming, training, emergency vet bill, and dog walkers at $15 to $40 per outing when you return to work. So there you go. Forget about going back to work. I'm going to walk other people's pets for a living. Apparently, there's some money to be made there. And wow, $2,385 a year for a dog, and that doesn't even include poop bags. Think about that. But they're worth it. Well, dogs are, at least. That's what I would have to say.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at here. This is the time of the year that, well, because of the pollen hanging around, many of us find ourselves with a pocket full of Kleenex. Because it's definitely not a pocket full of sunshine, because you never know when you'll get the urge to sneeze. And if you have to sneeze, medical professionals recommend that you haul off and let it fly while responding to social distancing guidelines, of course, because stiffing a sneeze can be dangerous. And an article in the British Medical Journal called Snap, Crackle, Pop. When sneezing leads to cracking of the necks, doctors documented rare spontaneous perforations and piriform sinus after forceful sneeze, leading to cervical subcontagious aminosubilis inflammatory. Yeah, I said all that. What does that mean? Basically, a 34-year-old ruptured the back of his throat after pinching his nose and covering his mouth during a sneeze, leaving him in pain and difficulty speaking or swallowing. He's also developing a popping sensation in his neck, which immediately swelled up. Doctors also determined that the air bubbles had been found in the way into the tissue of the chest. Due to the risk of the severe complication, he had to spend a week in the hospital where he was fed by a drip and given intravenous antibiotics until the pain was subsided, all because of one sneeze. That's a lot to go through if you really think about it. Also, his next door neighbor didn't pick his dandelion, so there you go. According to what I heard, he also had to clean his ears after that. Obviously, no one said God bless, so just think about that for a hot minute.
You are listening to a Radio God. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a Radio God. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Apps that drain your battery the most. You want to go over this real quick? Let's talk about them. Phone storage apps company pCloud analyzed which apps are operating on your phone, whether you're using them or not. They looked around to the function of the apps, such locations as cameras, how the battery power of those that are required, and whether the app have dark mode. By those standards, the top 5 worst battery drains are, of course, Facebook, Fitbit, Skype, Uber, and Verizon. Yes, those apps right there. So that's Facebook, Fitbit, Skype, Uber, and Verizon. Here's the rest of the 20. I'm going to give it to you in sequential order. At number 6, Airbnb. Number 7, Bigo Live. At number 8, Instagram. Number 9, well, the one that you normally use, Tinder. Number 10, Bumble. Number 11, Snapchat. Number 12, WhatsApp. Number 13, Zoom. Number 14, YouTube. Number 15, Booking.com. Number 16, Amazon. Number 17, Telegram. Number 18, Grindr. And number 19, but it's Lick? I don't know. It's Likke. And at number 20, LinkedIn. That would be the one that kills your battery the most. So there you go. That's top 20 that kill the mess of your battery. In my house, hands down, it's the Amazon one. And besides that, it actually kills my apps or kills my battery. It also kills my wallet.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's talk about what is going on inside of the world as President Joe Biden tries to sell his next social welfare bill worth trillions in new spending. He's argued that the ones in the core functions of federally subsidized childcare is necessary to get the economy working post-COVID. Not everyone agrees, including Harvard economist Jason Furman, who has been the chair of the Council of the Economic Advisors under the Obama administration. School closures and the lack of childcare are not holding back the recovery, Furman told Politico. And conservatively, we shouldn't expect a short-term economic bump from reopening schools and making childcare more available. Worth noting, was Biden lying about the need of federal subsidized daycare, or was he misinformed, or which is worse? I mean, I don't know. Some stuff to think about for sure. Also, President Joe Biden plans to add about 87,000 IRS agents over the next decade to investigate small businesses and shake them down for more tax money. Pass Congress easily, and there you go. So there's some information. The Coalition to Protection American Workers, that group organized by Mike Pence, former chief of staff, is blitzing media market in swinging districts, attacking Biden for the plan. So there you go. Some stuff to think about for sure as we are talking about this and moving forward from it. Let's get the hell out of here real quick. Should we say this? Maybe we'll say this real quick. On May the 1st last year, Senator Ted Cruz tweeted that he was compelling evidence that COVID originated in a lab in Wuhan, China. Should we talk about this? Let's do it. We already started. The same day, the Washington Post, Glenn Kelzer snarked in response, "I fear Ted Cruz missed the science animation and the video that shows that the virtually impossible for a virus to jump from the lab on many interviews, the actual scientists, we deal in facts and viewers can judge for themselves." Yesterday, the same Glenn Kelzer tweeted timeline on how the Wuhan lab leak theory suddenly became credible with a link of analysts. So some stuff to think about on how things change over a period of time. I don't know. I just share the info. Don't shoot me for it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, no winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $236 million jackpot, or $161.1 million cash payout if you so desire to do so. Anyways, before I forget, did you take a listen to yesterday's pod of the Jay Allen Show, talking to Apollonia Rockwell? If you didn't, I would strongly encourage you to go do so. I think you'll really enjoy that one if you do get a chance to take a listen to it. She goes down the different paths of what she's been through, getting into the lovely business of safety. Anyways, let me tell you about this real quick. My friend Todd Conklin has a course going on right now at our website, safetyfm.io. This is the class about bouncing forward. If you're interested in more information about that, you go to safetyfm.io. This is all new and reconfigured. actually dating back in here May of this year, where he actually came about with this whole new concept talking about bouncing forward. If you do get the opportunity, I would recommend strongly taking a listen to what Todd has to teach about this, because it's an important one for sure.
Some say I'm a street fighter, a renegade, a courtroom brawler. I'm a trial lawyer and I have a mission: to right wrongs, to level the playing field, to protect victims by doing what I do best: win in court. That's the DNA of Figer Law. Figer Law. I was born for this.
Oh, Figer Law, they were born for this at 1-800-A-WINNER, just in case if you're looking for a lawyer. 1-800-A-WINNER. That's Figer Law, just in case. That way you know exactly what's going on. Let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of this lovely world of ours. 50 minutes past the top of the hour. In the next 10 minutes or so, I will be jumping over, and hanging out with my good old buddies at RadioBig.fm. So if you want to come hang out, we'll talk about music. We'll talk about the things that are going on inside of the world. We'll talk about a lot of stuff that is going on that we normally don't talk about inside of this show, because we normally try to focus mostly on safety stuff going on over here. Anyways, let's talk about some things that occurred back on this date. Back in 1927, the last Model T drives off the assembly line. Henry Ford said that his son drove the car out of the factory with its 15th millionth car. The mass-produced consumer car retailed for as low as $260. That would be about $6,000 today, just in case we were trying to wonder. Also, back on this date, let's take a look. Back in 2020, Twitter begins adding labels to warn about of inaccuracies in President Donald Trump's tweets. The label contains a link to CNN, The Washington Post, and The Hill, which explains Trump's alleged lies. Trump fired back, claiming that Twitter's stifling free speech. That happened back on this date, back in 2020. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Alan Bertson, dancing pro, Dancing with the Stars, turns 27. Scott Disick turns 38. Lauryn Hill turns 46. Helen Bonham Carter turns 55. Lenny Kravitz turns 57. Bobcat Goldthwait turns 59. Hank Williams Jr. turns 72. And Stevie Nicks, oh yes, that's Stevie Nicks, turns 73 today. So there you go. That's what's going on inside of the world of the birthdays. If you want to know about some days of the year that you can celebrate today, let's talk about that real quick. National Blueberry Cheesecake Day, National Paper Airplane Day, National Senior Health and Fitness Day, Sally Ride Day, and World Otter Day. So all those things are going on right now if you want to celebrate them, because you definitely could do that if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, a lot of fun stuff going on as you can celebrate everything as it seems to go about, and around and around and around and around and around and around. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts real quick before we get too far. Storage capacity of a human brain exceeds about 4 terabytes. According to the Cleveland Clinic, if you regularly fall asleep in less than 5 minutes, you're really likely sleep deprived. There are more bacteria in your mouth than there are in. Hold on. There are more bacteria in your mouth than there are people in the world. Forensic scientists can determine a person's sex, age, and race by examining a single strand of hair. Guess we won't have that problem. The ashes of the average cremated person weighs about 9 pounds. Human birth control pills work on gorillas. I don't think I needed to know that. And now I am going to be mentally anguished for the next little bit.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Okay, so there you go. Some stuff right away as we are talking. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I'll tell you during the whole show today. Let's talk about this. Know that you're not alone. Yeah, that's not a joke. Let's talk about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Yes, no, you're not alone, whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one. Know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. If you want to find out more information, you can go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800 273-8255 or text the word TALK to 741-741. That's the word TALK to 741-741. So there you go. Anyways, let's go through some trivia questions today because I think that this could be interesting. What color is the middle square on a Scrabble board? Let's go through the questionnaire. Here are the answer potentials. A, blue, B, red, C, pink, or D, pewter. What is the color in the middle square of a Scrabble board? A, blue, B, red, C, pink, or D, pewter. The correct answer is C, pink, just in case. The H in H2O stands for what? A, hydrogen, B, helium, C, hassium, D, oxygen. What does the H in H2O stand for? A, hydrogen, B, helium, C, hassium, or D, oxygen? The correct answer is hydrogen. That would be A. Okay, let's continue a little bit more here. What is an angle called that is greater than 90 degrees? Acute, obtuse, or Gabriel? Acute, obtuse, or Gabriel? The correct answer? Obtuse. So there you go. Just in case you wanted to know. Anyways, let's get into some things. If you want to do a phone starter for today, I got one for you real quick. You can start off with this. Ask this question. What is your silliest fear? Would most people say gravity? Because most people are afraid of falling. I'm just asking the question here. If you need a random joke for the day, here you go. Try this one. Stress is what you wake up. Hold on. Stress is when you wake up screaming. Then you realize that you haven't fallen asleep yet. Think about that one. Okay, if you need something for the water cooler, try this. 12% of us have stolen this from a neighbor without them ever knowing. What is it? Should we call it Wi-Fi? Yeah, that's something we should call it. Anyway, so there you go. That's what's going on this morning as you and I are hanging out on safetyfm.com or the app or whatever. I don't know. Do you ever come and hang out on the app? I mean, you should download it if you don't have it. You can go to your Apple store. You can go to the App Store. You can go to also the Google Play Store. You can go to even the Amazon Skills and download the Safety FM app. That is our 24-hour, 7 days a week radio streaming service that is available free of charge, just in case. I just want you to be aware of that. There is no fee associated to it. And we have over 20 shows located on that bad boy. Yeah, 20 shows located on there. The newest one is Ted Speaks. Not Ted Speaks Live, but Ted Speaks. With Ted Carew, the positive safety coach. We actually added him onto the group yesterday. So if you want to take a listen to what we have going on, we have everything from, the pre-accident investigation with Dr. Todd Conklin all the way through, wow, I just almost went somewhere totally different with that. To the practice of learning teams. All the way. If you can imagine it, we have some versionality of safety on there. So all you have to do is you can come to safetyfm.com. It will send you to links where you can download the app, or you can just go to those different play sections and do it. Now, we do have the Safety FM radio app, but we also have the Safety FM Plus app, which is our video streaming service. That one's a little bit different. That one, it does have a subscription service related to it, but that is where we're trying to get you to have content that is available for you to be able to watch, engage with at a fair cost, opposed to actually being a group member of somewhere else before you can even buy anything and get involved inside of that. You got that one. Anyways, if I could leave you with anything for today, let me leave you with this. People tend to make rules for others and expectations for themselves. So let's try that again. People tend to make rules for others and expectations for themselves. So if you can think about that for the rest of the day, you'll probably get a little bit further than what you started off with. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM. That is the listener. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Always a fun time. If you want to come over to radiobig.fm, I'll be hanging out there. This show does stream on there as we are doing this right now. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen. I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.